Hello friends, Lisa here from Thermomixing Adventures. Today we're getting our cook on. I'm doing a lot of recipes. I'm going to record them for you and show you while I'm in Fiji or later on after that. But I'm so excited about the most latest update, and I've mentioned it already, and it is the ability to send it to your Thermomix. Now what I didn't go through last time, look at this. Look at that, it's on the screen. What I didn't mention last time is how they now talk to each other. So if your Thermomix is on, your TM7 particularly, and I don't know what they've got planned, whether this will ever be there for the TM6, I have no idea. But when I set a timer before for my oven, my mobile phone had it showing on the screen as well. The fact that I had a timer on the Thermomix, which I was super stoked about. So it's really cool to see these integrations coming, and you know, they're beyond what I could ever fathom. So when I look at the activities, it says there's nothing cooking now, but when I go start, let's get into this recipe and see if it comes up in a second. So we're going to make Quiche Lorraine today. All right, so it says Gruyere cheese. I don't have that, but I do have Parmesan, which will do the job beautifully. I make this gluten-free. I did for years as well make it with dairy-free milk and cream. I still left the cheese and the butter, so there was parts I did do and there's parts that I couldn't do. So you can make it less dairy if you need it to. So yeah, it's up to you. All right, I need about 50 grams. Next, we're going to put the lid on, which is here, and we're going to grate it. I'm just going to grab a bowl while it's grating. 10 seconds, speed 7. Let's do that. Press play. Okay, next, transfer to a bowl and set aside. So if you had pre-grated cheese, you wouldn't need to do this step, but you can grate cheese. Now, talking about grating cheese, the other thing that came through with the most recent update is the chop and an additional steaming function. And I just remembered because we're grating. Let's just have a quick look at that. So let's jump out of this recipe for a second. When I come now to my little blade symbol, and let me put you on the other screen so you can see up close. So when I come to my blades on this side, you see the little blade symbol, that's all my modes. I click on that and you can see here's my modes. And these are the top ones are kind of my current, you know, the top list. You can pull that down to open the rest up. So you can see that. I can close that back up. But under here, we have something new. And it's not new to those of you who've seen a TM6. You've got chop on the TM6. We have chop, plus we have some bonus ones. We also have this like if I click on, let's go, I've not clicked on cabbage, let's go cabbage. So we have the option to chop my cabbage or steam my cabbage, or you could do both. You could chop it and then steam it. So I can go, hey, I actually want to chop it. And it says what sort, is it a red or a white? I'll go red. Do you want it coarse or fine? And they even have little pictures, and I'll go coarse. And they go, okay, how much? Have you got 200 or 300 or 300 or 400? The scales come up so I can weigh it in. I might say I've got just the small amount. And then I go tick. And it pre-does this for me. It even puts a pretty picture on the screen. It's so cool. Then I could go, yep, all right, that's done, that's chopped. And I could go, I guess I go back. And then I could say, actually, you know what? I want to now steam it. So I can come back here and go, I want to steam it. It says what sort, red. And now it's telling me what to do. 500 grams of water. There's the scales. There's the thing. Tick it off. Then it says, am I using the simmering basket or am I using the Vorwerk? So I could put the simmering basket in, do it in there, or I could use the Vorwerk, go tick, and then it populates it for me. It takes the brain work out of it. It says you're going to need 12 minutes, you're going to need speed 1, reverse, and you're going to use the little basket, the simmering basket, or if I pick the other option, that. How cool is that? And you can see there it's got the bouncing lid behind me telling me to put the lid on. So that is super cool. Really nice for those of you who, you know, there's a lot of us that have progressed through multiple generations of Thermomix. So we learned how to manually chop. We learned how, when I say manually, I'm not talking knife and fork. I mean, knife and fork, I'm not talking knife and chopping board. I mean more like the sense that we would put in our carrot and we knew that, you know, 4 seconds, speed 5, and you've got chopped carrot. We knew that. So this is really nice for those of you who are brand new to Thermomix world, or maybe you just want to turn the brain off and just do what's, you know, in front of you. This is great, having that ability to kind of go, okay, I need help. I need to chop this. How do I do that? And it does it for you. Or how do I cook it? Back into my recipe, 3 of 21. Stop talking, Lisa. Let's go next. Quiche is a great one that you can use in a multitude of ways. So it says to grease and flour a quiche tin. I'm not going to do that. I'll show you why. So 150 grams of plain flour. I just need to get rid of my gluten-free off here from earlier. So we're putting 150 in. I'm using gluten-free. You don't have to use gluten-free. Use gluten if you've got it, or that's what you use normally. Just plain flour, not self-raising. You don't want it being all fluffy. And then we want some unsalted butter. It says chilled, so you want it to be out of the fridge. You don't want it to be too soft. The trick is, though, that if it is too soft, say for whatever reason you got it out early, you got distracted, because this is what happens to me. When it comes to the water in a moment, make sure your water is chilled. Okay, so that's the trick. If you are making this, you've got distracted, your butter's now soft, because hot butter is the enemy of pastry making, because it just makes a soggy mess. Okay, so we don't want a soggy mess. So that's the trick. Use then chilled water so it brings it back together. So half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just guesstimating how much, a little knife end. And then 50 grams of water. Make sure water is not hot. And mine is a cold kettle. And don't go over on the water. Try and, you guys know I overdo sometimes. We're trying really hard not to overdo today. Look at that. Spot on. Love that. You can see it going, woo, you did it today. It knows I don't very often do it. Next, mix 20 seconds, speed 4. Off it goes. So it's combining through. Got flour everywhere as usual. Now it says to tip out into a ball. So I have 2 sheets of baking paper back here. We're going to use them because these are going to help us not make a mess, and that's what I'm all about. The less mess, the better in my kitchen, in my house, because I need to clean it. Now you can see there's a little bit of flour that's not being used. Can you guys hear my chickens going crazy? They're having a mad day today. So I'm just going to give that a scrape down and make sure it gets into the food. Okay, we don't want it to waste. Okay. Now I'm going to pour this onto, and it's a big, I'll show you what it looks like. Big clump. Okay. It's not overly sticky, even though I've used gluten-free. It's usable, but I do like using the baking paper just for ease of controlling the mess. Take as much as you can out of the bowl so that you can reuse your bowl without washing up. Okay, so just putting that there. So the little trick to get the leftovers off, just put the lid back on, grab your turbo mode, get back. How do I get out of this? It's probably a close button somewhere, but I haven't played with it enough. Turbo. Play button. And that just flicks all of it out to the sides. You will need your lid on whenever you go into your turbo mode so that you can actually get, it won't release all that jazz while you're in turbo mode. Alrighty, scrape the rest of that off. And now we're going to go back to our recipe. I'm just going to push this into a ball. We will come back to this when our beautiful bacon is cooking. Now you don't have to make this meaty. You can leave the meat out if you preference. So back into my recipe. So shape into a ball. So I like to use my baking paper to do that. And then it says to roll it out. We'll come back to that because we have time in a second to do that. So we'll come back to this. Prick it with a fork. Now place bacon cubes. So this goes in 200 grams. I just dropped something. Yeah, of course I did. And I think I pushed the next button or then something then too. That's all right. We like bacon, lots of bacon in. Plus this one's a reduced to clear, so probably should be used up pretty quick. Okay, next. Saute, 3 minutes, 120 degrees, reverse and spoon. And this is where I want to take care now of my pastry because I now have time to. So, I hope if nothing else you get inspired to give this a go, but also realize how efficient this recipe is and how, it doesn't take that much time. So I've got it in a bowl. I have a second sheet I'll get it in the camera, this side. And then I have a rolling pin. And all I'm going to do is push it out between the baking sheets until it is big enough for my quiche tin. Quiche, what's that called? Ceramic thing. So around this goes. I was looking before to see in the cooking center if it actually tells you. At this stage, it doesn't tell me if there's something cooking. I believe that at some point it will. It'll actually tell you what step you're up to and call you back, but not there yet. Unless I misread. Maybe I misunderstood what the update was completely to do. But that is so exciting. I'm so stoked. Alrighty. So pushing this out, you don't want it too thick. I do like this recipe because you don't have to bake it beforehand. You don't have to blind bake it. You can actually cook, and I mean you could blind bake it, but you don't need to. You're actually going to put this in and then it's going to cook with the filling in it. So I like that. So I'm just making a nice big circle. You can somewhat see me pushing it out with my silicone rolling pin. Round it goes. I'm going to compare it in a moment to my quiche container, see if it's the right size. You'll see it's a relatively thin layer, which is what I want. Nobody wants a big chunk. I need it to sit out a bit further than my edging. Beautiful, that'll do. So now I'll leave this here so you can see it. I push it down and I've still got my second layer on top. I take the time to go all the way to the edges and I'm going to go around and push it in. I'm not worried about the extra out the top. I will leave that. Okay, round it goes. Whoa, nearly lost it off the bench. There we go. And now I'll take the top layer of baking paper off. And you'll see, I don't know how easy you can see, but you just gently peel it back. And you can recycle this bit for later if you like, another time. So, now that is my hack so that I don't have to struggle with pastry not doing what I want it to do, okay? And also kind of cleanliness as well. So maybe you are better at that than me. And I do like to cook mine in the baking paper, again, for cleanliness, for ease of it not sticking. Yeah, up to you though. Okay, it said to prick the bottom. So it did say with a fork. I just have a knife on hand, so I'm going to use that. And now we're ready for this next step, which we, like, look at that, 3 minutes and we've got it all done. How good. All right, drain the bacon. I never drain the bacon. This is what I do next. Maybe it's because of the bacon we use, but I just literally put it in on top of my quiche. So I pour it in. I try not to put it in one big pile, only because it's going to cook or make soggy that butter in one space. Take all that bacon out. So I don't even worry about setting it aside or draining it. But yes, just make sure it's not in one clump. You want to spread it so that it cools super quick. You could use ham. If it's leftover Christmas ham, use that. You could even use like leftover shredded chicken. Like it doesn't have to be this. Set bacon aside or you can leave nothing. Okay, 4 eggs. So I didn't grab them beforehand. I'm sorry, people. I'm going to grab 5 because they're little today. Some of them. Okay, here we go. 4 medium eggs. I'm going to go into a bowl. For some reason, the shells are a little bit delicate at the moment. And since I'm serving this to people other than my family, I might make sure there's no eggshells in it. Nobody wants a crunchy piece of quiche with that, you know, and they've got a unique texture, right? Like if you bite into an eggshell, oh look, 2 for 2 of getting eggshell in it. I'm glad I did it this way. Yeah, you know it's eggshell. If somebody bites into an eggshell, you know it. It's got like that defined texture. Oh yay, finally one that did not put eggshell in. Oh, there it is. Like, where'd the 5th one go? So I'm just putting a bonus one in because my eggs are little. See, little bantam egg. This one. Some of them are just young chicken eggs, and some are bantams. Okay, so next up is milk, 50 grams, and this is where in the past I have used almond milk and things like that. That is fine. I'm just going to use long life today. Now the next ingredient stops people making this recipe all the time. I get messages, I don't have creme fraiche. I don't know where to buy it from. Just swap it for cream. Okay, it works perfectly. I've also done yogurt and it works fine as well. So don't get stuck on that. Now there is a magic ingredient coming up next that can totally lift this dish, and it is the beautiful veggie stock. So it says here salt. And when we see salt, we go, hey, they mean veggie stock. So we just want half a teaspoon of veggie stock just to lift that flavor, okay? You don't want to go too heavy because we do have Parmesan on top. So just literally half a teaspoon. The Parmesan is salty, and obviously bacon has its own like saltiness too. And some pepper. Oh, where's the pepper? I would like to put pepper in. I just can't see it. It's not where it usually lives. All right, I guess we're not, I might put pepper on the top because I can't see it. Next. Okay, we're going to mix 30 seconds speed 4 and then we're done. This is going in the oven. This is how quick this is. Okay, so I want to wash it or wipe the screen too. I've got egg on my screen. Anyway, can't win them all. So you can see it. Now you could put spinach in at the next step. You could put tomatoes, some diced up tomato in. So cherry tomatoes cut in quarters. You can make this as fancy or as ordinary as you'd like. There's no right or wrong. Okay, so you get to pick, which we all love that, right? Choose your own adventure and know what's in your food. So now it just says to distribute reserved sauté bacon over the pastry and cover with the egg mix. So this goes in. Can you see me doing this? Yeah. And then we put over our Parmesan and then bake for 25 minutes at 180 until golden. So easy. So easy. I would make this in a rectangular tray when we traveled in the caravan so that it was easy to slice, easy to store. I would freeze it, slice it up, freeze it flat, ready to go for when we need it. A really great recipe, and to use whatever you've got left over. So if you've got leftover chicken, use that. But otherwise, I hope this inspires you. If you have a friend or family member with a Thermomix, please send them these videos. They need to know that Quiche Lorraine takes 12 minutes. Actually, probably less. How long have I been talking for? Way too long. But it actually is really quick when you've got a Thermomix, and it's really easy and it's not stressful, and you know what's in your food. You can make it gluten-free. If you want it to be dairy-free, it's a bit harder in the sense that you need to swap out like nutritional yeast for your Parmesan. It's not impossible, it's just different. Reach out if you do need a dairy-free option. I will have a look at making a recipe up or converting something for you over the coming days. But otherwise, I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's inspired you. Give it a go and take care, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now. If I can find my mouse to stop the video. See you.